What's good, everyone? Dokkan actually rolled out a very cool feature on here today, and for those of us that have been playing for a long time, however trivial some of this information is, it's actually quite interesting because it does kind of put it in perspective from a cumulative standpoint. So it's a lot of interesting stuff. So if you're under the news portion, go under campaign and then click on this thing right here. This gives you a breakdown of what kind of information it's being listed, and also it does give you a cutoff date. So this isn't going to be permanent. So if you do want to know your stats or you're curious about it, go ahead and check it out because it does cut off at March 31st at 5 p.m. I believe. So make sure you access that if you're interested. In addition to that, look. Things are going to be different for everyone, right? Playstyles are different, favorite units are different, the grind amount is different. So, if you come across your stats and find out information about it, go ahead and fire away in the comments and let's have a lively discussion going on. All right, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and look through the stats real quick. I've got it loaded up already, so we'll start off with this. This one's a little bit confusing because it does say the cumulative login days. I thought I was only like a week away from like 1900 cumulative wise, but I'm not sure why it's showing up as 1804. There might be parameters or criteria might be a little bit different from like the daily login information, maybe perhaps, but I'm not entirely sure. The next one where you see ACT is basically the cumulative ACT or stamina consumption. In my case, I guess I used up like 790,365. And I don't know if this is from like the very beginning of them keeping track, but it's kind of funny because they always had access to this type of information in their environment or cube or whatever the case is. But yeah, if you divide that by 25, which is your ACT cost for a Dokkan event, I guess it kind of puts it in perspective a little bit. The next one right here is basically the total amount of banners that you ended up running or pulling on. So I guess in my case it's 10,394. Probably significantly less than some of the whales out there like Truth-Nolar and Goresh and whoever. So I'm a little bit afraid to know what their numbers look like because we all know how often these guys summon. They have like crazy itchy trigger fingers, you know what I'm saying? So go ask them and let me know how many times they ran a banner. All right, the next one is the total amount of quests cleared. So I have 41,239. I feel like a good decent amount of this is probably coming from ever since the link skill level system came out. I've been grinding a lot more, just because of I want units to get max level links. So I've been going pretty hard on that. So I'm guessing. Some of that was probably attributed to that. And in relation to that, the next one is the total amount of Cybermen defeated. And my count is 61,354. Again, similar story. I expect a good portion of that coming from, the link skill system being rolled out because, you intentionally go to quest 23.8 now to grind links. And that's where, all the Cybermen are at. So with that being said, I kind of see the correlation there a little bit. I think the next one is the total amount of training done. So I have 9,175. I don't know if that's a good number or not. It doesn't really, mean much, I guess, in that regard. I don't know. It doesn't really put it in perspective on that one. All right, the next one is the total amount of Zenny used. So I have, I got to start reading from right to left here. Let's see. I think I have 6,987,673,785 Zenny that I've used over the lifetime of the count, it looks like. And then the total amount of Senzu beans used, I have 2,855. And then this is the most interesting one here is the top 3 most used characters. So for me, some of these aren't surprising, but the last one is. Number 1 is the Extreme AGL Turles. I'm not surprised by that one, to be honest with you, because ever since that unit came out, I have been very, very happy about the unit, to say the least. It's such a good unit. I love running that unit alongside support, with rotations, whatever the case is. It's a versatile unit, a lot of fun to run. Number 2 is similar. my number 2 is going to be the EZA Int Super Janemba. Of course, with the EZA, this guy became absolutely bonkers. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how good this guy is. So, you know, I definitely did use him in the past, but before the EZA, I don't know. Like, I mean, I probably use him way more now, and I don't know how much of that, ever since the EZA, contributed to, you know, him going up to number 2. But you know, I'm sure there's a direct impact from the EZA itself. But yeah, number 2 for me is the Int Janemba. Number 3 was a little bit surprising. My third spot is for the Extreme Physical type Final Form Cooler. Now, you know, I personally love the unit a lot, but I was a little bit surprised he was holding down number 3. I expected, you know, some other unit to potentially show up, like maybe, you know, Strength Cooler or whoever, but I guess Cooler's a newer unit compared to some of them, and you know, whenever I'm running a Cooler included team, I tend to include Turles and Janemba, so they already have a handicapped head start, so I guess that makes sense in that regard. But I'm curious to know what you guys have in your top 3 most units. So again, if you have the information, go ahead and spit it out in the comments, and you know, I'm curious what your top 3s are, so make sure to do that if you have that information. I think the last one here is basically the total amount of units acquired. It's probably in combination of the summoning banners as well as the free-to-play story events or you know, options to be able to acquire them freely instead of through Dragonstone. So my number is 25,646. It looks like. So pretty interesting stuff. Not as important. The one thing I was most interested about was the best 3. I wanted to know what my best 3 was, so that kind of puts it in perspective. I'm not surprised because I am that type of guy that roots for the bad guy in the movies. You know what I mean? So I do like villains. I like extreme team setups. That's just the way I roll. But I'm curious to know what you guys have in terms of like the information if you looked it up. So feel free to comment, and yeah, I'll be reading through the comments and just, you know, trying to figure out you know, stats for everyone, and just, yeah, it's an interesting read at the end of the day. So I think it's a lot of fun. So make sure to comment if you have that. So with that being said, I guess we'll go ahead and close out. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace out.